Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, we are from group 5 and we will discuss our topic today about learner-centered methods. However, before we start it, we will present our member Cici, Hanifah and Aljunda Intana Rahmah. A. Definition of learner-centered methods. Learner-centered teaching is an approach to teaching that is increasingly being encouraged in education. Learner-centered teachers do not employ a single teaching method. This approach embraces a variety of different types of methods that shift the role of the teacher from giver of information to facilitators in student learning. CLT origins with the change in the British language teaching tradition in the late 1960. Its emergence had been stimulated. Number 1. Chomsky's view of the creativity and uniqueness of individual sentence as a fundamental characteristic of language. Number 2. The frustrating result of the audio nuance method, which produced French speakers, a second or foreign language, who were not able to use their language in meaningful interaction, and the increasing interdependence of European countries, which required greater effort to teach adults the major language of the Euro. B. Model of methods. Number 1. Hypnosis model. The term communicative competence is a description of the core language teaching. A further progress in assessing the dimension of language from a communicative point of view. 4 parameters need to be assigned. Number 1. Whether and to what degree something is formally possible. Number 2. Whether and to what degree something is feasible in virtue of the means of implementation available. Number 3. Whether and to what degree something is appropriate in relation to a context which it is used and evaluated. Number 4. Whether and to what degree something is in fact done, actually performed, and what its strength entails. Number 2. Canals and Swine's model. A later elaboration of communicative competence is found in an article by Canal and Swine, who purports that a theory of communicative competence includes at least 3 main competences, namely grammatical, sociolinguistic, and strategic. Number 3 is Pachman's model. Another analysis of communicative competence has been undertaken by Pachman, who described communicative language ability as the coinciding of both knowledge or competence and the capacity of implementing or executing that competence in appropriate, contextualized communicative language use. C. CLT syllabus. CLT aims to make communicative competence the goal of language teaching and to develop procedure for the teaching of the 4 language skills that acknowledge the interdependence of language and communication. Brown described the characteristics of CLT. Number 1. Classroom goals are focused on all of the components. Number 2. Language techniques are designed to engage learners in the pragmatic, authentic, functional use language for meaningful purpose. Number 3. Fluency and accuracy are seen as complementary principles under communicative techniques. Number 4. Students in a communicative class ultimately have to use the language productively and receptively in unharassed context outside the classroom. Number 5. Students are given opportunities to focus on their own learning. Number 6. The role of the teacher is that a facilitator and guide, not an all-knowing discoverer of knowledge. Cranch, Richards and Rogers and Yard discuss major communicative syllabus types of CLT. With the stage reference to each model, they are summarized as follows. Number 1. Wilkins in 1976 structures plus function. Number 2. Bromfield 1980 functional spiral around a structural cars. Number 3. Allen 1980 structural, functional, and instrumental. Number 4. Job and Harding 1975 functional. Number 5. Williams in 1976 notional. Number 6. Edison in 1979 interactional. Number 7. Prabhu 1984 text-based. Number 8. Conlin 1976 Hiner Stranger and Riley 1978 learning grades. Number 9. Kamat 1983 Mohan 1979 context-based.
Next is basis of CLT. Historically, CLT has undergone three phases. First, from the Wilkins period, with the terms of nations and functions. Next is the Man-B period, with the needs analyzed. And the last is the Prabhu period, with the procedural, process, and task syllabus. And the next is as proposed by Noun. The three types of task-based CLT have the following features. First, an emphasis on learning to communicate through interaction in the target language. Second, the introduction of authentic text into the learning situation. And 3, the provision of opportunities for learners to focus not only on language but also on the learning process itself. And then an enhancement of the learner's own personal experiences as important contributing elements to classroom learning. And the last is an attempt to link classroom language learning with language activation outside the classroom. And next slide is criticism on CLT. There are 9 on criticism CLT. First, Burnaby and Son report that teachers in China found it difficult the use of CLT. And then Anderson, a study of CLT in China, reports such obstacles as a lack of properly trained teachers, a lack of appropriate text and materials, students not being accustomed to CLT, and difficulties in evaluating students taught via CLT. And next is based on study, they assessed the attitude of Hong Kong educators 31 toward using CLT in the local context. Sao and Chung report the teachers use CLT only sparingly because it required too much the preparation time. And then Sano Takashi and Yuneyama point out that the Japanese students they studied generally did not feel a pressing need to use English. And then a study conducted in Vietnam identified class size, grammar-based examinations, and lack of exposure to authentic language constraints on using CLT. And then shaming identifies learners' resistance among other problems, a barrier to her attempt to introduce innovative CLT methodology her Pakistan English classroom. And number 7, the grammar-based English language syllabus makes the English teaching situation complex and the local use of CLT challenging. And number 8, Gonzalez, who studied CLT in the Philippines rural areas, found the English instruction there was irrelevant to the population needs. People there seldom use English. And the last, effort to foster a communicative approach to the teaching of English in KwaZulu, South Africa, met with pervasive reluctance on the part of teachers and students to adopt the more egalitarian, decentralized way of interacting associated with CLT. And the last is post-method era. This era, according to Kumaravathivelu, is characterized by a search for an alternative to method rather than alternative method, and then recognition of teacher autonomy, and the last, the use of principled pragmatism. It was realized that no method could be implemented in its pure concept, the teaching of EFL at the earlier age of students. It is called teaching English to young learners, or TEYL, or English for young learners, EYL. Thank you.